Hey everybody, this is 5 Minutes from Friendship. I'm Clint Louie. I want to tell you about a man, Brother Ralph Benfield. Ralph Benfield from over in Morristown, Tennessee. Brother Ralph is with the Lord now, but he was my pastor. And he was a great man of God. God blessed and used him in a mighty way. And he and his dear wife, Miss Bright, and we love Miss Bright. And then, of course, his family, Jonathan and Tiffany and Luke and Holly and April, all of them. They're precious people. We thank God for the Benfields. Brother Ralph died on August 18th, 2011. And this recording as of today is August 18th, 2022. So 11 years ago today. I miss him. And God used him to pour some things into my life. He was I was going to say he was a Marine, but he'd be quick to say, once a Marine, always a Marine. But he did serve the country in the Marine Corps, and he had that gruff nature, but he had the most tender heart of anybody I think I've ever known. Such a compassion heart. He loved people. One day when I was working there with him, and I spent 4.5 years of my life there at Morristown Baptist Tabernacle, and I want to say especially to the church, thank you for letting me be there. Brother Ralph let me work for him. One day he goes out of town and he leaves me in charge. Man, I was so nervous and scared and didn't know what to do, but I want to do everything just like Brother Ralph would. So Sunday morning I was unlocking the building and make sure everything was just right, just like Brother Ralph. He was in Arizona with a bunch of preachers. And I noticed the baptistry was a little low. So I'm going to go and put a little bit of water in it. So I turned on the water and then I went and did other stuff. Going to come back, turn the water off later. About 30 minutes goes by, I forgot about the water. And I was downstairs. This is 30 minutes later. I'm downstairs and I hear water running. And I think, oh no, water. And I run back upstairs and turn the water off super quick because I knew what had happened. And I'm thinking, please don't let this thing be overflowing in the auditorium. Don't let it overflow in the auditorium. Please don't let me see water in the auditorium. Brother Ralph's going to kill me, you know. Well, I go in there to the auditorium, and the baptistry had a piece of plexiglass where you could kind of see the water, you know. And the water was about that far from the plexiglass. And the plexiglass looked like a rainbow turned on its side. It was so pooched out and bulging, but it hadn't overflowed. And I'm thinking, I've dodged a bullet. Then I thought, what was that water I heard running downstairs? I go downstairs. The Sunday school office sat underneath the baptistry because the church building was split level. And I look in the Sunday school office, and there I saw something that looked like Niagara Falls. The water was pouring out from the top of the ceiling. Evidently the water had run some kind of overflow through the walls, and I don't know, it overflowed somewhere inside the walls, and it had poured through the ceiling. It was bad. Destroying the office, swimming pool in the floor, and I'm like, oh no. And I didn't know what to do. I'm just grabbing towels. Can you believe I'm grabbing towels, trying to soak it up and, you know, trying to drain the water off, set the drain to run. And Sunday morning, got a hose run out there in the church parking lot, trying to drain the water off. People are coming in. And to make matters worse, I was supposed to preach that morning, and my mind was nowhere on that. And I knew I had to call Brother Ralph. So after church that morning, I called Brother Ralph. And I said, Brother Ralph, I've got something to tell you. And the first words out of his mouth were, you overflowed that baptistry, didn't you? And what was so bad is he was around a group of his preacher buddies, and they started laughing at him. And the more they laughed at him, the madder he got at me. And he told me in no uncertain terms that I was never to touch that baptistry again. Keep your hands off that baptistry. Yes, sir. He never did let me touch that baptistry again as long as I was here in Morristown. Well, in 2010, the good Lord let my wife and I come to Stanfield, North Carolina. And then in 2011, Brother Ralph, he went home to be with Jesus. And I got the word he was near heaven. And so I went to Knoxville to the hospital where he was. And he was lying there on the table and on the bed, and he had a breathing mask on. And so I got over there, and his son was there and said, Daddy, Brother Clint's here. And he opened his beautiful blue eyes, you know, and I got over there and said, I love you, Brother Ralph. I love you. I'll see you in heaven, you know. Brother Ralph, this is what he said through that breathing mask. He said, "Keep your hands off that baptistry." Some of the last words he ever told me. That's Brother Ralph Benfield. I think the last thing he ever did tell me was that he loved me. And he did love me. Can I tell you, I appreciate my pastor. I appreciate that God used that man to be my pastor, my under shepherd. He watched for my soul. And I want to encourage you today to be in a good Bible preaching church. Pray for your pastor. And rejoice in how God has used people in your life. This is Clint Louie, just sharing a memory with you today. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day.